Welcome back to A Corporate Time. I saw something the other day that I'd like to ask you, like, what it was. Andrea has a theory. Maisie and I were driving. We couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
We had gone up to McDonald's to get a trash breakfast because occasionally the dentist is like that. We are big fans of the McDonald's 2 sausage burritos and a hash brown meal.
Okay. All right.
That's Maisie's standard.
Okay.
With a large or extra large Diet Coke. That's what she prefers. For her legs, as Tom would say. And we're up there, and I kid you not, it's like, I don't know, maybe 9:30. Whatever it was the crossover between breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
I don't know what time that is. But we're up there, and we're in line, and we're doing that. We're coming up through the line to get our stuff. And you know where they have the trash can, where the trash can has an extended port that comes out to your window.
It's all overflowing.
Yeah, it's all over. Yeah, okay, so you're familiar.
People are just stuffing their other McDonald's trash in there.
So a gentleman is walking my way to stuff his trash in there, and he's a really, really big one. He's a big dude.
All right, yeah.
He's I'm just setting the scene. There's no judgment here. He's at least 3 and some change, 2 into the 2s.
Okay.
And he's walking over. Well, Maisie and I look, and we're getting our stuff. You know, we're still waiting to get our gear and our food and everything. And he's got a bag, a ginormous mega handle bag from McDonald's, and he has what appears to be 50 yellow wrapper plain cheeseburgers.
Okay, all right.
The most cheeseburgers I've ever seen.
In a suitcase.
And he has, well, no. So you're foreshadowing. He had a big old bag of burgers, but he has his suitcase open in the back of his SUV. And he's lining, this is not a lie, this is not an exaggeration. He was laying the burgers in his suitcase.
So he had a ton of burgers, and then
at least 20 burgers.
Then he was loading them in his suitcase.
I'm not going to exaggerate. At least 20 burgers.
Okay.
I can confirm 20, but it looked like more. It's the yellow wrapper wax paper, the smooth bun cheeseburger, the old with the dehydrated onions, the ones you and I like. And he's lining his suitcase with him. And Andrea goes, well, he's foreign and he loves McDonald's. And I go, that's not a thing. It's not a thing. That's not. I disagreed with her. I go, so this man is from another country, and he came to Orlando, home of the world's largest McDonald's, by the way. And he wasn't at that one. He was in the one at Colonial. And he was lining his take on to head back to Australia. And he loves McDonald's so much he can't get it there. I don't believe it.
No,
I do not believe
that. Well,
that.
there's a McDonald's in every country.
Correct. So why do this?
I mean,
what was I witnessing?
This could be his lunch. That's the most obvious answer. That 20 burgers.
I said they were for the plane.
I
said they were for the plane.
Okay, or these take him on vacation. Well, but again, there's a McDonald's every single airport.
On the plane.
Oh, okay.
It's for snick snacks in the air because you don't get any food anymore, right?
Was the suitcase carry-on size? That's very important.
Yeah,
okay,
it was. But it was like your small suitcase.
Okay.
Like
a hard side?
It was definitely a hard side. Okay. Blue hard side. Think child suitcase or small. You know, like when you buy suitcase, you have small, medium, and big boy.
Yeah.
It was the small. That's tiny, usually for like, I don't know.
Like a carry-on, honestly.
Sort of like a carry-on, but it was a hard, old school, the lay-down kind with the latch, like you open it up. Couldn't figure it out.
I mean.
Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think burgers hold that much.
You ever been on a plane when somebody's trying to bring something? You ever been on a plane when somebody's trying to bring home like a cheesecake or a slice of pizza, a coney dog or something? People do it all the time.
Well, I know that it's
fish. Some fishermen will be flying home with their whole carry-ons packed with wahoo.
It's frowned upon to eat a stinky lunch on a plane, like the other passengers get mad at you.
And don't bring pirate's booty either because it explodes everywhere. You got to bring a safer snack.
You're eating some sort of fish or chili or something stinky, and it stinks up the whole plane.
I knew he did it. EJ brought home an entire real Chicago-style pizza. I knew you did that. I knew you did that. That's what I'm talking about. The people that go to places.
So he's the one that's doing this.
No, dude, people do this all the time.
You go to places.
And they bring home, like you go to Memphis and you bring home barbecue, or you go to Kansas City and you bring home ribs. You wrap them up at the gate, You stick them in the bag, you put them in your suitcase, and you fly home with them. Don't do that. Nobody should do that. That's why they invented Gold Belly. You familiar with Gold Belly?
And what is that?
Gold Belly is like this service, and I think that it probably came from people doing this, where Gold Belly partners with legendary stores like Junior's Cheesecakes in New York or Brooklyn or whatever, and they'll just do whatever it takes to deliver it to you. Like,
there's a lot of like restaurants that will, like, they become famous for something and everybody raves about it.
And then they start overnighting their stuff.
And they overnight their stuff. It's expensive.
That's what rich people do, right?
Crystal wanted, there's some...
I've never pulled the trigger on it.
There's some famous vegan or vegetarian restaurant in California, and she's like, I want to try this whatever the hell dish.
I want to try this tofu that's flavored like pepperoni.
And she's like, I see it on Instagram
Probably like on
or whatever.
Gold Belly's got it.
And then, but to ship it in the 1 day freezer packed or whatever is like $80, and the thing is like $20. So it's like $100 for whatever the hell, And she's like, not worth it. Yeah. But people do that, I'm sure, all the time. Like cakes, like I'm sure specialty items. 1 day shipping, you're paying $100 to get a cupcake or whatever.
Yeah, I've never done that, but there are big brands. Voodoo Donut used to be one of those that people would take it on a plane.
Yeah.
Like if your dad's
Gideon's Cookies used to be, right?
I think Gideon's is one of those for us right now. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one, dude. You're on the board.
And then like you're getting a whole red velvet cake or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you could travel with a whole cake on your carry-on, right?
I mean, I wouldn't want to, but
I guess as long as it's not liquid, then you could bring it.
Ooh, I knew Tracy. Man, I'm hitting all the marks here. Tracy, in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TOMANDDAN20. I ordered cupcakes from Gold Belly, and they came smashed and tasted like S. It's a good review.
Well, the way they tasted had nothing to do with the shipping, right? Unless,
I don't know. I always thought the shipping was like guaranteed because they're working with I think they work with like Pat's cheesesteaks in Philly.
Yeah,
I think they work with like what's the famous pizza place that everybody's like, you got to get the deep dish Maggiano's. Everybody's got some like place that they're talking about.
But you couldn't cook a cheesesteak and then ship it somewhere.
And they wrap it all up.
Yeah, but you couldn't put in the bread. It would show up. It'd be so soggy.
I don't know how they ship it.
Yeah, it would have to be shipped. Like you'd have the cheesesteak ingredients and the cheese, and then the bread you'd have to make or like package it separately.
Yeah.
So you could put it together.
I don't know how any of this works.
Sandwiches, especially
it's for rich
greasy.
People, dude. This is for rich people.
Yeah. It's for you can get your favorite cheesesteak in some Philly. Small town Philly restaurant, and then you get it at your house. But
I've always been tempted to do it, never done it. But I see these people bringing home stuff on the planes, man. Like, I think my mom and dad used to do it. They used to do it with and friends would do it with fruit. They'd be coming back from Orlando or DeLand.
Oh, you can't bring fruit or vegetables.
But they were, I think they were.
Yeah.
They're sticking them in their bags.
I think that's all has to do with insects and not bringing invasive species to different states or whatever. So that's why you can't bring fruits and vegetables. But cooked food, maybe? I don't know.
You had a good one with Gideon's. What else would we bring from here? Is there anything else that's like a Florida staple? What about beers? You're probably not supposed to do that, right? But people fly with beers all the time. You put them in your carry-on and just hope they don't explode, right?
Yeah, I think people ship beers all the time and stuff. You just can't tell them you're shipping beer.
Everybody's saying pub subs. I don't think of that because, honestly, guys, I'm so pub subbed out. Sound like Dana White with podcasts. I am, though I've pubbed myself out.
Do you have a lot of Publix subs?
I've eaten a turkey sandwich in front of you every day with hot sauce for my entire broadcasting career.
But that's a pre-made one.
No, but even if I don't get pre-made, I'll stand
it's the same bread
and it's the same bread, same turkey. It's the same Swiss cheese. What do? I put hot sauce on it. I've done it.
Yeah.
For 20 years, 20 years, turkey sandwich with hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
It is a weird thing when we go over there and I go straight to the same 3 salads I get. And then Daniel.
You get a protein bowl. You get a boar's head protein bowl.
Every single time, it's like you have a panic attack. You don't know what to get.
No, do.
And I watch you do it.
I wipe my brain clean as soon as I walk in. It's the trick I used to do.
I watch you do it every time, and I'm like, he's going to do it again. And I think it's the craziest thing. And
I go hot sandwiches, soups, then I mix both of those.
And then you're like, what do I get? And then I get my same thing I do every day, and I start walking, and then I see
I have to hurry.
You're like, oh, he's walking away. And then you're like, oh, just get the same thing.
Get the goddamn turkey, you idiot.
And then you get it, and then you're mad
about it.
And then you get here, and then you just put it in the trash.
No, I eat 2 or 3 bites.
Yeah.
And then I go, this sucks. And then I put it in the trash.
And I'm like, it's weird that he's doing the same thing every single day.
It's my process.
Where like, you would think as we walk over to Publix, you'd be like, hey, I'm not going to do that
I
same
want my
thing.
brain clean as soon as I walk in. It's a new experience. It's Groundhog Day every day.
And I'm like, oh, he's doing it again. And tomorrow you'll do it again.
I will.
And then, at least I know what to expect. That's the good thing.
I've been eating hot sauce that had mold all in it. I was eating it.
See, I like that when even if someone is crazy and they do crazy things every day, I know what to expect. Like if one day you went over there and you got something weird.
I got a meal kit.
Like if you got
whip up some oysters.
If you got some meatball stuff, I'll be like, what the hell? Or anything. If you started like getting a roasted rotisserie chicken, I'll be like, what?
I used to have a friend that would do that.
I need you to.
He would eat half for lunch and he'd save it and then eat the other half before he'd leave.
I'll get a rotisserie chicken every once in a while.
It's Maisie's favorite.
They're only like $5.89 or something.
It's
I'm
Maisie's
like, God
favorite,
damn,
dude.
for a whole chicken.
May loves it. She'll mow it down. You know the big hubbub on the Costco ones, right?
No.
I've never had a Costco chicken. We can end with this because we got to get out of here or take a break at least. But I guess Costco came out with some numbers where they could save millions upon millions of dollars and like plastic. Like it'd be less plastic if they switched to these like bags to put their chickens in instead of these little plastic boxes.
Okay.
They used to have those little plastic boxes, I think that's like black on the bottom.
Carrying case,
yeah. And now they put it in like a bag, which is I think what Publix does.
Yeah,
Publix has always been a bag. But all these uppity people are now bitching because they're like, it's leaking. The chicken juice is leaking. It's like, you bought a $5 chicken. Shut the F up. Put it in a double bag, you know?
Yeah. And it's like they're trying not to ruin the earth with a million tons of plastic.
Plus they're killing a million chickens. I mean, for you. Right? That can't be helping things. The fact that we just got, everybody gets a chicken. There's just chickens everywhere, man.
Yeah. All right.
There's a place here in town that fries a whole chicken.
Oh, really?
They take a whole chicken. They batter it, they fry it, and then they fry it good, and they pop it out, put the whole chicken in a box, and give it to you.
That's real bad. You had an entire fried chicken, the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's
the Blues Brothers, man.
A couple pieces, the whole chicken.
Remember that? 2 fried chickens and a Coke. That's the Blues Brothers, man. That's what the fat one ordered. Jake, he goes, 2 fried chickens and a Coke. They're like, what? 2 fried chickens and a Coke. I think I got that right. All right, we got to take a break.
All right, see you later.
Fried chickens and a Coke.
Okay, next is Tuesday 4.
I haven't seen that movie in 20 years.
I've never seen the Blues Brothers.
You're not going to laugh at it. It's not your style of comedy. It goes into the old Caddyshack file.
Yeah.
But there are some pretty funny things. Oh, yeah, Tracy, we're going to do it. We like to wait to the last minute so you hang out with us. We like to make you hang out with us.
All right, we're doing
I don't want you to leave me, baby.
It's funny. We're like
talking Mountain Dews, baby.
We reminded ourselves 3 times.
I even put the thing in front of Tom, and I wrote it on a piece of paper, threw the paper away.
And then right before we start, wipe our brain clean.
Wipe it clean.
And then we just do the same thing every time.
I really do that as a technique that's getting me into trouble now. I became too good at wiping my brain clean. Because there is a trick to doing it. It keeps you from like for me, it keeps me from lingering into things that make me sad or things I'm worried about or whatever, right?
I bet it's an anxiety thing. You're just like, you want think about nothing because everything gives you anxiety. Yeah. So even what you're about to buy at Publix gives you anxiety.
I get stressed out about that.
So yeah, I have to wipe my brain clean. Then when it's go time, you're tap dancing around.
I'll find it.
And then you just buy the same thing. All right.
What do you want to do here?
We'll come back. We'll do Manscaped, and let's do.
We can do some. Let's do some emails.
Yeah, let's do some emails.
All right, bring us back, buddy.
Yep.
3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
You've got hair.
Yep.
All over your body.
A lot of people have hair. Even if you've lost your head hair, you have facial hair.
You do. You got body hair.
Yeah, you got pubes.
I was looking at my arm, and I've been forgetting to mow down my arm with my Lawnmower 5.0 from Manscaped. With the skin-safe technology, you can get in the nooks and crannies without cutting your boys. It's our good friends at Manscaped, and they want to save you 20%.
Yep. If you use promo code TOMANDDAN20, you get 20% off your purchase. Yeah. Free shipping worldwide. I like this handyman. Easy to throw in your car.
I like the beard hedger. It's got a built-in trimmer, and if you're like me, sometimes those little guards and things can go floating around, or you can lose them. Not on the beard hedger. It's built in. Comes with a carrying case as well. It's all brought to you by our buddies over at Manscaped. Again, use that code TOMANDDAN20 to save 20% off.
Manscaped.com. Let's do some emails.
Pause for 1 second. That's the best one we've done.
Yeah.
It's the best one we've done. I just wanted to give ourselves some flowers for a second. That was the one.
Just use that one
forever. And then you can speed it up and slow it down. And then we'll sound drunk if it's slow. We'll sound like too excited. And the other, okay. We can use AI. All right. Emails. You wanted emails, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go, buddy. Dear A Corporate Time, I was walking past oh no, we did that one. Sorry. Hold on, this one. Every time I come across a basset hound, I want to say, hello, Buster, dog from Nutty Professor. Every time I see a boxer dog, I want to call them Rocky. Then every time I see a black furred dog, I want to say, hello, Choco Taco. I was just curious if you already had preconceived notions of dogs' breeds and a name. Lassie getting help from Timmy stuck in the well is a Mandela effect. There you go.
So Lassie never helped Timmy stuck in a well?
I think that was his parting statement.
Oh.
The question was, do we have preconceived names for dogs? The answer with Tom is going to be undoubtedly no, and that's the stupidest question you could ever ask. Am I wrong on that?
There is, whenever I see, what's that dog in Beethoven? I call it Beethoven.
Okay, well, no, you're doing it then. Okay, great example.
Is the one
Saint Bernard.
Saint Bernard with a big, like mini keg around.
My cousin has a Saint Bernard, and it's an awesome dog.
Yeah. That to me is Beethoven.
Yeah, she rescued one, and he's great. He's getting a little up on age. He's got some joint issues, but he's dope. He's very loving, but he's way too large. Like, wait, it's ginormous.
Yeah. That's a cool dog.
It is a cool dog.
But that's Beethoven to me.
I don't think, is it? I'm sure they're
That's
around
not the dog's name. It's just the movie.
Right. I'm sure.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm sure they're around here. I mean, my cousin has one in Virginia, or the Carolinas. Could you have a Saint Bernard in Florida, or would people be like, "Come on, dude, hot as hell here. What are you doing?" It's like having a Saint Bernard in the Bahamas. You know what I mean? Like you're on a sailboat with a Saint Bernard. It's like you probably shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't he be in the Swiss Alps?
In Miami, for a small period of time, because we got it from our uncle, we had a Siberian Husky.
Everybody gets a dog from their uncle. I got a dog from my uncle, right? And that's got to be a Florida thing.
And I've told the story before, but the Siberian Husky's name was Happy. And it was not happy. It was hot. And it was an outside dog.
We have a couple listeners that have Huskies. Yeah. I'm not judging you. I'm just asking, is that a thing? Do people say things like, how dare you? You should. Because, people, I got a little bit of that because I didn't adopt a dog. If you don't adopt a dog, you're the scourge of the earth.
Although it seems to be loosening up with the old dog adoption as a
because
breed,
people adopted them during COVID, then they gave them all back.
Yeah.
And all the people that were like, you should adopt, we're like, they're not that great.
You know what? I wonder if it had to do with the fact that, remember when all the pounds had no more dogs? Like, everybody just adopted them. And then it was like, there's
no more bicycles. We were dogs and bicycles.
Yeah. Dogs and bicycles. And then all of a sudden people are like, you can solve the pound problem.
You can't. You just gotta be bored.
And then enough people will buy it, and then there's like, you can't find a dog anywhere. Yeah. And then, now
we're back to overpopulation.
Oh, yeah, then it's back to overpopulation. But because you saw that, I think then people are like, okay, like it can be solved. We just don't want to. Yeah. So like, and maybe it'll swing back the other way, and they'll adopt all the dogs again. But
well, we'll get another something happening, right? Where we'll be bored and shuttered in and need to adopt some dogs.
A
lot of St. Bernards, a lot of big dogs around here. And again, I'm not judging you. I'm just wondering, is there a stigma with that? Like, hey, these dogs, you need to be where it's colder.
I'm sure that happens where people, especially if the dog is outwardly panting or like playing another like, it's like,
Can you shave them down and still like enjoy them and just give them a better life by? I've never seen one shaved
so
down.
much.
I've never seen like a husky without hair. I've never seen a Saint Bernard that was like, oh yeah, that's his summer cut. I've never seen that.
I guess if they're only outside for small periods of time, it'd be fine. But it is hot as hell. Like so they have to be miserable.
I mean, Dansby doesn't even. I mean, he's like 14 pounds. He goes outside. He's like, I'm out. Put me back inside. This is terrible.
Let's do another voice or email.
All right, hold on. Let me get my emails here. To piggyback on Thursday's ACT, a person wrote in about foreign exchange students. We have one coming in August for our first time from Brazil, and we are excited but also nervous. Depending on the program, whether F1 or J1, forgot which one, they will pay you $1,000 a month as long as they have their own room and certain expenses they are responsible for. Felt like I had to email because I'm just now hearing this segment and just got the plane itinerary 10 minutes ago. Magnet pulling? How do they work? Anyway, thought that was cool. Ask any questions. Sean. Thanks, Sean, and good on you for taking in a foreign exchange student. It still happens. There you go.
But they're getting paid up to $1,000 a month. That's pretty good.
I'm gonna guess that my buddy's family got paid too. I think there was some compensation on the back end of it. They didn't really talk about it much, but.
And is it some program or a grant paying you or something, or is it the actual like? I think is it the person.
I'm gonna guess it's a government program in conjunction with the university from the country. So if you're coming from Brazil, I'm going to guess that the government subsidizes the university to send you to America for a immersive study.
Yeah, and maybe they're working with UCF and then some university in Brazil.
100%.
Like they switch and then
and they
the opposite too, like UCF will pay some Brazilian family for your
studying program.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. I kind of hope Maisie does it or something like that. It sounds like you could learn a lot. I have a couple friends, or Andrea rather has a couple friends, because most of my friends not as smart as Andrea's friends. But she has a couple friends that did it like exotically, like South Korea or Japan.
Yeah.
And lived there for months. And then normally they're teaching English because that's the specialty and it's easy. And you get to see the world and it's basically free, and you can study there, and sometimes you can study at a pretty prestigious university or maybe get an accreditation.
Yeah, the traveling part
pretty cool.
Imagine
if Maisie were able to go to like France to dance but study there.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, super cool.
And then like all you have to do is work it through whatever university she's going to.
Don't let her dance in France.
It's where the naked ladies dance. I know.
Don't let her
and there's
go.
a hole in the wall. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Have you heard about the hole?
I know what they do with the hole.
I know what they do too.
I've seen it.
All. That's one of the best vaudeville skits we've ever had. I'm gonna give flowers again. You know what we don't do on this show enough? Compliment each other.
Let's do one more.
Let's see. Okay. Hey, show. Listening to last week's ACT show talking about kids playing with magnifying glasses and BB guns. My daughter has far surpassed me at her age with playing with a magnifying glass and is a master at burning ants in the yard. She can focus that thing on a moving ant in a second and is using an 8-inch lens out of a lab-grade scope here for my work. She's pretty darn accurate with a big boy pellet rifle and has a 3-inch cluster at 50 feet. We live in a rural lake county, so it's totally acceptable on our few acres, and I'm always right there to supervise. As my wife says, I might as well be a 12-year-old boy. Here's a picture of her, and here's a picture of them in the golf cart, like acting the fool. There we go. Proof that kids still go outside, I guess. I think we were talking about that.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing. My BB gun was my favorite thing in the world. Maybe my Game Boy. Game Boy did eventually surpass it, and you see where we are now. But my pellet rifle and my BB gun were my two favorite things. I loved them so much.
You know, it really just depends on where you live, and if you live out far away from the city and you have a big backyard and woods and stuff, like your kids are going to play in there. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had a huge backyard, my kids would still be on Roblox.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, they love that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's like whenever we go someplace and there's like a creek or something naturally cool.
Yeah.
Not just a yard. Maybe that's the problem. No offense, your yard's beautiful and everything, but it's not a bridge. It's not a creek. It's not a sandbox.
No, but it's also not big at all. It's 20 feet by 10 foot.
Well, your pool takes up most
of
it.
But I'm saying like there's no place to explore or like go in the backyard and
bikes aren't a thing anymore. They're not. Even with Maisie, like we live in a neighborhood in sort of a cityscape where she could ride her bike anywhere. She'll ride with me. That's it.
Yeah, maybe when she gets older, she'll ride over to her friend's house.
I don't think that's going to be a thing, dude.
If her friend lived somewhere in Baldwin Park, she'd probably ride over there. Like Tommy's going to middle school. In a year and a half.
I don't even like you saying that.
So he's going to 5th grade next year, and so if he's got friends anywhere around his middle school, I could see him riding his bike from now. Crystal's going to be looking at whatever tracking device he's got
an
on
Apple
him,
tag on him.
and she's going to be nervous the whole time.
We do that right now with May.
Yeah,
so we do that with May's Apple Watch.
But I'm going to force her to let him, be independent and ride, and But honestly, since he hasn't been doing that. Yes, I started going out riding my bike as soon as I could ride a bike.
I can't remember the age I used to do it, man. Like, I have a really bad time trying to figure out what age. I'm going to guess around 10 or 11, though, I was out there. Like, so right around his age.
Oh, yeah. I was in elementary school when I was riding to my buddy Joey's house, and he was one street over. It wasn't far, but I would ride to his house.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Ride back. And then we'd ride to Tropical Park.
Ride to Winn-Dixie.
Pretty far, and it's like, and there was no, it was just like be home by dark kind of deal.
Yeah, and you'd call, if you needed to call, you'd call from one of your friends' houses.
Yeah.
Like I knew the closest house, like if we needed to, we're running late, run by Jonathan's house and call.
Do you remember your first phone number in your house?
386-734-8039.
Mine is 305-279-8507. How crazy is that?
My parents had the same number forever. They had the same number until they died.
That's 40 years ago.
It's ingrained in my brain.
1071
Valley Forge Road. Like it's literally baked in my brain. Do your boys know your numbers?
They know Crystal's.
Okay.
And they have on their devices, they have
like ICE or something.
FaceTime. They have the ability to FaceTime me.
Right, there you go.
Because we leave them at home a lot by themselves. So me and Crystal have been doing that in the past 6 months. Like, they're fine for a couple hours or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they can call us. Plus, their grandma lives down the street.
Yeah.
But still, it's like
an army of birds to protect them.
Yeah. It's
good.
They can call me.
It's good for them to do that. We do it with Maisie now too, and she's been pretty good with it. I'm surprised because she's a little more clingy being an only. Let's jump into this one. It sort of ties in to a corporate time. Dan, Tom, and possible guest. I was curious of how well you rank in your local league. My dad could beat up your dad. I assume all of you at least in the above average ranks, with Tom improving his fitness and Dan having unlimited Hulk rage ready to be released at any moment. Have you ever overheard kids say, my dad could beat up your dad? Well, my dad's in his 60s, but also knows some judo. That used to be a thing. I have heard some of Maisie's friends call me little daddy.
No, they say the M word.
Yeah. I did hear a couple of her friends say, oh, he's a little daddy.
Yeah, I've never seen or experienced, or my sons have never told me about any of the friends like bragging about their dads.
What about the mom? Because it's boys. What about, hey, your mom? Because that comes
later.
It will come later. Yeah, we're a little too soon. Little on the cusp.
Yeah. But
you're maybe 3 years away from that. Maybe less.
I think that's more of an old school thing because now with the internet, and they're in just like at least my sons with YouTube and things like that. Like
what? No mom's sunbathe anymore when you're when the boys' friends come over.
Well, you're just exposed to so many different. I feel like back in the 50s, your dad was the only like adult male you were ever really exposed to. So you were like, you knew him as the strongest and best person. Now you've seen so much because
of Mr. Beast.
Of Mr. Beast, the internet, everything. You're just, that it's not really like, oh, well, my dad is a superhero and he can beat up your dad. It's like, oh, I get it. It's just a bunch of dads out here. A bunch.
Everybody's dads are okay.
yeah.
I don't like that.
I know.
That kind of sucks. I kind of want to be like, I do think. Now, this is, I don't know if you get this, but I do think that Maisie, and I know nobody else does, and nobody else matters, but I know a little bit of what we do here still carries a little bit of weight. It's still entertainment.
So
it's a little bit better. No offense, but it's still a little bit better than everybody else's dad.
Because like,
it's entertainment. It's like,
my dad has some listeners out there.
Yeah. Look, I know it's not real.
Yeah.
But to her, it is. And you're gonna let me have it.
Yeah, but then that goes away. Just like
it's fleeting.
Celebrities, kids, like if you talk to any of them, everybody has the same story where my kid isn't impressed with anything I do.
No,
like no matter how famous they are, you're still the nerd dad.
Even Oppenheimer, you get to like a scientist.
Although I feel like the Super Bowl champions or like the extreme athletes.
Well, that's a big deal.
Like Messi's sons are enamored by their dad. They're my dad is the best soccer player.
I think Tiger Woods' son looks at him like this.
Tom Brady's sons.
Yeah, I think
they think he's a superhero because of what he's achieved.
But not Brad Pitt. Oh my God, your kids hate you, dude. Hey, Brad, your kids hate you so much they want to change their name. I'd jump off a bridge. And I don't like saying things like that. If Maisie said to me, I hate you so much I want to eliminate your name from my name, where's the closest bridge?
Because you think about it, it's the opposite for actors' kids because the actors' kids see who they really are. And we only see the characters they play. So we think Brad Pitt is cool like the Fight Club character.
We're not getting choked out by him on a plane. That's what happened. Supposedly he put his hands on his kids on a plane.
And so the people around those actors, they're really...
You know when I knew he was bad?
Yeah.
In his episode of Friends. Not a good actor. Not a good actor. And so awkward with Jen. So awkward.
He plays the same character every time.
He does. He does. We got to get out of here, don't we?
Yeah. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Nice. Something out of nothing. All right. And what was the other thing?
And the last one is Wednesday 2.
Actually, those were good segments.
Yeah. I'm going to try. Let me see if I wrote something down here.
The Brad Pitt story really makes me sad. Jacko wants you to know the law says it's illegal to leave your kids home until they're 13. He just wants you to know that. Frashinio says, we had a sleepover last night. My daughter told her friends I grow plants for a living. I work in accounting. It's true. If someone were to ask Maisie what I did, it'd be funny to see what if somebody other than you and you weren't around and asked Tommy and Max, say, what does your dad do? What do you think their answer would be?
It would be pretty
Podcaster?
accurate. Well, let's call Crystal. Okay.
Because I don't think Maisie could nail it. Or she'd say he's on the radio, I think. She's a classic.
We'll test it right now. That was a good one.
Because I don't know. Yeah, I think they'll get it.
I think they just say Tom and Dan.
Yeah, no, Melissa, I know, but like technically, I'd prefer her to say podcast because that's like what we really do. The radio's like not really.
We wanted to do a segment. We just got to do a 10-minute segment, and then we were thinking if you asked the boys what I did for a living, what they would say. So can you do it live with us? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were home. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's fine. It was just a throwaway.
Yeah, it's fleeting. We can do whatever.
Okay, easy. So, anyway, all right. I'll see you later, babe. Bye. We'll do it. Yeah. Bye.
I got voicemails.
Go.
All right. You want to bring us back?
Sure.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some voicemail.
Voicemail time. If you'd like to leave one, 1-844-TOMNDAN, or get our free app. All of our content's on there. You can sign up to be a BDM. Extra shows, all ACTs, everything is on there. Let's go with this one right here. Sort of like a follow-up to the immigration question we had from the non-Australian British pool guy from the other day.
Hi, Tom and Dan. I'm listening to 778 with the British pool guy talking about immigration. And I just happen to be an immigration lawyer. And it sounds like he had contacted a few and wasn't getting good options. But I'd like to help how I can, especially for a fellow listener. Also, I want to give you all a compliment for having a surprisingly thoughtful and correct conversation about immigration, because most people just don't know. Even the fact that you called it a green card and citizenship separately, because they're different. But anyway, and I guess this is the part where you have to cut it off so you don't share.
Okay, yeah, he gives all his information. But hey, he's willing to help, and he sounds like a really thorough and super nice man, and that's why our listeners are the best. That was very kind.
So the number one question I have for this gentleman, and like we talked about this on last week's Friday Free Show, I believe, is my question was, how can the government tell a citizen that they're not following the definition of what a marriage should be when there is no definition of what a marriage has to be? You know, because it doesn't, like, legally, like, once you get legally married, it's basically a business contract between two humans, you know?
Sure.
And then it's all legal. But so what you actually do with your wife or husband or whatever, or how your relationship is, it's not defined in any way. It's not like, oh, you have to live together.
Thank God it's
you
not.
Yeah.
The whole chat room thinks the guy's AI. They thought the guy had a weird voice. And they're like, this isn't real. This is all AI. I knew you guys were going to get to these. Why is
that's a good idea. We should do AI callers. If your questions, we just want them to ask.
Don't tell them that. I still told you I was going to start eking these in gently to see if they can figure them out. And that was the second one. No, they're not AI.
But yeah, that's more interesting to me because you do have some government employee that does check the validity of marriages, because there is it's illegal to have some false marriage or to get married just for a green card. So it comes with like I was talking on the show, like 5-year prison sentence, like $250,000 fine or whatever. But to me, it's like, okay, if you go in there and the tests are like, what do you guys like to eat for dinner? Or like, because the joke back in the day was like,
did this
you had
with
to put
pictures
up of themselves around, like, so
you had to have your stuff there. You had your toothbrush there.
Portray what a normal marriage is. But that's the thing, like, why do you have to legally have a normal marriage? You should be able to do you should be able to marry who you want and then structure it wherever you want. Like, never see them again.
Yeah.
Marry them.
That'd be such a good marriage.
Because why do you have to live with them or see them all the time? It shouldn't matter.
Look, I get what you're saying. Maybe he'll call back. The chat room's still convinced he's AI. They want us to play it again. They want us to call him and confront him. It's not AI. Guys are nuts.
So
let's try this one right here about old Josh Dobbs.
Hey there, Tom and Dan. Hey guys, it's Kenny. Tom, Josh Dobbs, it has nothing to do with him not being on a roster because he's not a good quarterback, which you're kind of right. He's not the best quarterback. He was a 4.0 aerospace engineering major, so his ability to learn and memorize is higher than most quarterbacks. So a lot of teams will sign him and put him in the starting role because he can learn a more complicated playbook and a more complicated play set compared to other free agents that they might pick up. his quarterbacking skills are pretty much on par with your average third-string quarterback or your practice squad quarterback, but his ability to learn and memorize and retain is higher than most, which is why he keeps getting opportunities. The Vikings got him. He won the first game he started. The Cardinals picked him up right before the playoffs. He started a playoff game. So, Tom, you're kind of right, but mostly wrong. Also, players have punched out their coaches before. Latrell Sprewell was famous for choking out his coach during a practice because he got fed up with his crap and being yelled at, so he choked him out. It doesn't happen that often, but it happens enough to where there are some coaches and there are some players that kind of have that fearful mentality. All right, Tom, you're wrong. Love you. Bye.
That wasn't even my point, Kenny. I was talking about why he's not on a team right now. And maybe he is. I started to look it up if he's even a backup for any team.
It's impossible to look anything up now because the internet's all garbage. I can't use it anymore. I go on there, I type something in, it takes 50 hours for it to pull up. It's all advertisements for all kinds of boner pills and garbage.
My point was mainly the hype of, like, all of a sudden someone like Josh Dobbs last year was doing incredibly well, and everybody was so surprised because he picked up, and the guy is smart, and I know that. But, and, because he was some sort of rocket scientist and had, went to a different school or, had a different education than most football players.
You just don't like it that people get excited when things happen and you think that's premature?
No. I'm just, like, amazed by how much, like, we can say this person's doing unbelievable for how little, like, the hype behind it. And all of a sudden, like, oh, he's not playing the next year at all. Right. How good could he have been? And so why was he touted as so good at this? I mean, now not even on a team.
Well, maybe he was. Then everything was just exaggerated. Then, right?
Yeah.
Because we got behind it and we got excited. It's I used the same thing with like Heineke going in for the Falcons, and when he got put in, everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna do it. He's doing it." And for the first game, he did it, and everybody's like, "That's our guy. That's our guy," and it wasn't our guy.
So I had this thought the other day.
So everybody just exaggerates because you get excited. It's like when you go to Miami and drink too much.
So we talked about this a little bit, but Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend, right?
She's very attractive.
So we were laughing about, everybody's laughing at it. So, but and it's weird. It's not normal for a grumpy old man who's 74 or
I'm
whatever.
not anti it. It's just out of character,
with a 24. But then I started thinking, I was like, well, Belichick has only hung out with 24 to 30-year-olds for the past 24 years or what, it's been longer than that. I think
knows about Yacht and Edge Sesh. And he knows all about that.
Well, when did he start his coaching career? Because, like, head coach.
He's a skibbity toilet kind of guy, I feel like.
He was the New England head coach for 20 years, but before that, he
was with the Browns, right?
He coached. So I think he coached. He's coached his way up for 20 years. So for like 40 years,
he's been around kids.
He's been around 24 to 26-year-olds, and that's all he's hung out with.
That's a decent argument. That is a decent argument.
Who knows more about 24 to 26-year-olds than Bill Belichick?
I'd say normally he'd know more about guys, though. Not around a lot of 24-year-old women.
No.
Normally around like 24-year-old men.
Yeah, of course, but
which
still,
might make him a 24-year-old man. Is that what you're saying?
Well, just he's got because you think about it, like in any other old man that's 74, he hasn't hung out with a 24-year-old.
No. I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't hung out with any 24-year-olds.
In 50 years.
So you can make an argument that Belichick has his thumb on what's happening
in more
20 than I do.
Yeah.
And I'm 48. I'm not even that old.
Yeah. More than me. Like I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something.
I don't have 24-year-old friends
today. I don't hate that argument. Yeah, that's a fun one.
It makes more sense and is less confusing when you see.
At least when she goes out and meets his friends, if they're all 24-year-old black dudes from the team, it's like.
Now I'm not sure how many of his actual friends are 24-year-olds.
Is he hanging out with Mac, or is Mac still with him?
But he knows how to relate to young people.
Well, he knows how to talk to them.
Yeah. That's all he's been doing
or maybe
for 20 years.
To yell at them.
No, he knows because his players say he's a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's strict, but also like they all like him, or at least Gronkowski and all those guys.
It seems like he's well liked. Yeah, I didn't get the vibe that he's not liked.
So I'm just saying he knows how to talk to young people more than any of us
Oh,
right?
God. I just had a thought of something I realize every morning when I wake up. Every morning when I wake up, I get out of the shower, I look into the mirror, and I'm becoming the old coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the little guy that can't walk.
Who's the old coach?
He coached Brady, and they fought. The little guy with the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
That's me. I'm becoming that.
Wow, God, what the hell is his name? He wore a beret all the time.
He wore a beret. Or no, a visor or like a little thing.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I've got his
chat room. What's the chat room saying? They know.
I've got his body style. I get out of the shower and I look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, Bruce. Is it Bruce? Wasn't it Bruce?
Yeah, the Bruce sounds familiar.
Bruce Arian.
Bruce Arian.
Yeah.
It.
I look in the mirror. I'm like, it's Bruce Arian. That's sitting there. The only thing I'm missing is a little Bucks visor. I got the belly. I got the height. I can't walk.
Speaking of someone that looks like you, that photo I posted on the Medium page of me and Seth standing on the back of his boat with all the bros, there's a little MMA fighter.
The little leprechaun?
Yeah.
Lucky?
That everybody's like,
dude,
is that Daniel?
Lucky's a murderer.
Yeah.
No, that's not me. That guy will twist you up.
Everybody thought that was you at first when
He'll
the first
put you in
glance.
the rainbow twist.
Let's do one more.
All right,
voicemail.
one more. Here we go. Oh, wait, were you
I was going to say, but someone knocked on a door, but I was like...
It was Lucky the Leprechaun.
Well, I don't know who it was, but...
I don't answer the door. If you leave, I hide from people. Sometimes I peek through the through the blinds.
Hey guys, it's DeBerry Joe. This just crossed my mind because I've never heard it brought up on the show, and it's something that I deal with somebody, like, I've got a really bad gag response, but I like my tongue to be clean. So I have to, like, sneak up on my tongue, like, randomly throughout the day and scrub it down while I'm not brushing my teeth. I know it's probably not the healthiest thing to do, but, like, if I brush my teeth and then scrub my tongue, I'm gonna throw up. So, like, anybody else like that? I'll hang up and listen.
I mean, we handle the big problems here on this show. Do you use a tongue scraper?
No.
Have you ever used a tongue scraper?
No.
It's disgusting. You take this, it's like a flexible piece.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
And you put it in your mouth, and then you scrape your tongue, and then you look at it, and you don't want to look at it, dude. It looks bad.
Yeah, I use my fingernails to scrape it.
Okay, that's good. And you have long ones. He's got long.
I'm like, yeah.
He's got these long Guinness Book of World Record fingernails, the big yellows.
I scrape it good with my fingernails, and then I look at it, I'm like, oh, I got some mush. Gross.
You just wipe it on your shorts. Well, what I do is I go under my shorts.
Yeah, get it inside.
Yeah. Sometimes I pick a booger, I put it in my pocket. That's the rule. Everybody knows to do that, right? This is how you do. If you scrape your tongue with your fingernails, wipe them in your pockets. No one will ever look, and they can't be seen.
I don't get a sneaking up on your tongue. Like, I'd be like, don't you know? Like, it's just like I have to sneak up on my tongue so I don't gag myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
I do
if
the
you
tongue
can do
scraper,
that.
and then they got a tight scrape,
And
then they got like a wider scrape. It's like a comb.
Is that something that actually
I think it does do
doctors
good.
recommend?
Because
that?
you ever see somebody and they got a white tongue, and you're like, oh man, and then you know what I want to say, and this is not right. This is not right.
Scrape it off.
When I look at them, I'm like, oh man, and it's like can be anything. You know, halitosis. They stick their tongue out, and it's white and cracked. I'm like, oh man, you got the AIDS. That's what I want to say. I know that's not factual. But when I look at it, that's the reaction I have. It's like the cracked tongue and everything. I'm like, oh my God, you got to go to the doctor.
So I've never scraped.
How do you get that? How do you get a cracked tongue? The white crack.
You got some sort of weird disease or.
You've been doing the thing. You've been doing it.
But I've never scraped my tongue, and it's seemingly fine.
Lot of tongue scrapers.
It doesn't build up. Nothing happens.
Look?
Looks white.
Oh my God, it's a crack.
White and cracky.
Oh my God. Does it really?
Oh yeah. It's white as a sheet of
paper.
paper.
Let me look at yours. Let me look. A little white in the back and green.
Yeah. Well, that's the goo. I'll get to that after the show. All right. Bye.
The goo. Oh Lord, that's funny, dude. Where's that go?
That is just Wednesday. Wednesday 2. That's it.
Nice job, everybody. Okay. Yeah, everybody in the chat room loves a tongue scraper. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. That was fun. Have a good rest of your